The following is rated not safe for work. It contains strong language, adult situations, and lots of spoilers. Discretion is advised.
In the criminal justice system, cinematic-based offenses are considered especially heinous. The dedicated attorneys who investigate these villainous films are members of an elite squad known as the Reels of Justice. These are their stories.
Order, please, order. The Reels of Justice is now in session. Judge, definitely out of the asshole business, Ryan Luis Rodriguez presiding. Your eyes for the Honorable Judge Rodriguez.
I don't know if that was an insult or not. I guess I'll just roll with it.
Out of it.
But obviously you were in it at one point.
Every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
Be seated. Welcome to the Reels of Justice. Today we are hearing the case of the People vs. Rumpelstiltskin, a 1995 horror comedy about a 15th century imp that is freed from a curse in modern-day LA and terrorizes a woman in hopes of claiming her baby for his own. For those of you unfamiliar with our court proceedings, we are here to determine if this film is guilty of being a bad movie. As always, in this courtroom, films are to be considered excellent until proven awful, and the burden of proof lies upon the prosecution to prove beyond a shadow of a reasonable doubt that this film is guilty. Mr. Dylan J. Schlender, you are representing the prosecution. You may present your opening statement.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, the jury, the listeners at home, imagine the profound distress I found myself in realizing that this wasn't some terrible fever dream that I had, that this movie, Rumpelstiltskin, is actually real. People spent 32 days of their lives and $3 million to make this movie. This is a real thing. You can watch this. Now, you're going to hear myself and a good friend of the show, Mr. Skipper, say a lot of things. And you're going to say those things can't be true because we live in a real world where real things have to happen. But I assure you, they're all true. Everything that we're going to say happened to this movie happened. Why? That's the real question. That is the real question. Look, the Rumpelstiltskin myth is a well-known Grimm's fairy tale. And director Mark Jones chooses to eschew all of the interesting things that the original Rumpelstiltskin story brings up. We are then treated to his version of events that involve characters always making the worst decision possible. This includes the titular Rumpelstiltskin. And this isn't just nitpicking the movie to death. This is after we have seen these characters previously make wise decisions that, if they were to make those decisions again, would greatly help them out in this feature. Alas, they don't do it, so the movie can happen. So we can have a bizarre a few bizarre chase scenes, actually. You wouldn't think a movie about an imp would have so many car chases in it, but again, here we are. Again, this will all be true. So buckle up, ladies and gentlemen, because we're really going to get into it. And if I lose, I am going to shove myself halfway into the ground and rip myself in half, the way the real Rumpelstiltskin is supposed to die. Thank you.
Don't threaten us with a good time.
Yeah, I was going to say, now I want to see it.
And appearing on behalf of the defense is Mr. Graham Skipper. Please present your opening statement.
There is a long, storied history of converting old tales for the screen to scare us, titillate us, and maybe even let us learn a little something about our own history. Films like The Innocents from 1961, based, of course, on The Turn of the Screw. Perhaps Don't Look Now, based on a story by Daphne du Maurier. Or, of course, The Haunting from 1963, based on The Haunting of Hill House. We're not talking about any of those boring pieces of garbage. No. Tonight, we're talking about 1995's masterpiece from director Mark Jones, Rumpelstiltskin. A story older than all of those. One ripped from the pages of Grimm's fairy tale and thrown in a genius manner, in this defendant's opinion, into modern-day Los Angeles. I know that when I go to see a movie, I want to see a wisecracking monster. I know that I want to see endless puns. I know that I want to see a troll driving a police car. I know that I want to see a troll driving a motorcycle. I even know that I want to see a troll driving a semi-trailer. I get all of those things, and I get the acting debut of Tommy Blaze. I don't know what more you could want from a feature film, and I am personally offended that Rumpelstiltskin is even being considered for the chopping block.
You picked it.
Hush! This is a classic, and it should be more beloved, and I'm here to make sure that it is.
You go, Graham. You put Rob in his place.
That's right. Fuck you, Rob.
Aw.
Yeah, fuck
If
you,
he
Rob.
loses, he's shoving Dylan into a furnace.
I know what I'm voting for. I'm on the jury.
Thank you, Mr. Skipper. Mr. Schlender, you may proceed with your first exhibit.
Thank you. You know what I think Tommy Blaze would like more than having this on his resume? A Wikipedia page. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Your male lead doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. Let that sink in. Where to begin? Oh, I don't know. Let's start at the beginning. Rumpelstiltskin, as a Grimm's fairy tale, very short version. A woman is said to be able to spin straw into gold. The king of the land is very intrigued by this. Obviously, she can't do it. A little imp man shows up. He's actually just described as a little man. He says, give me your necklace, I'll do it. Does it. The king says, do it again. So she gives Rumpelstiltskin a ring. He does it again. King says, do it one more time or I'll kill you. And she says to Rumpelstiltskin, I have nothing to give you. He goes, tell you what, give me your firstborn. Spins it into gold. The king marries the woman. He comes back for the baby. And he's like, hey, now you got to give me your baby or guess my name. Now, what the point of Rumpelstiltskin is about is how names actually have power over demons, over spiritual forces, right? So if you can name it, you can control it. That's one of the lessons of Rumpelstiltskin. Also, one of the lessons is that women are very clever. The woman in the original Grimm's fairy tale outsmarts Rumpelstiltskin to learn his name and is therefore not obligated to hand over the child. Now we fast forward all the way to 1995 with this hack Mark Jones who says, you know what, let's throw out all the female empowerment. Let's throw out any of this. The whole reason the story exists to impart these lessons. Let's just throw that all out because Rumpelstiltskin's a funny name and we can have a guy run around like hunched over trying to steal a baby. So there's absolutely no connective tissue to the original mythology at all. But then they introduced the original mythology into the movie through a blonde woman who we have no idea who she is. She is literally just there. And then she leaves. He goes, sounds like Rumpelstiltskin. And she goes, wait a minute, he did ask me about his name. Wait, you didn't tell her that already? Then how does she know this sounds like Rumpelstiltskin? How does everyone in this movie know about Rumpelstiltskin except for all the parts that matter? That you, A, actually have to make a deal. B, that you have 3 days to guess his name. That he never actually makes it away with a baby. Everyone's, oh, he's the guy that steals babies. No, he's not the guy who steals babies. That's the whole point of the story. Anyway, that's the problem with the Rumpelstiltskin as it relates to the lore. Now, to say nothing of action, if you want to respond to the lore defense, I'll give you a moment here, or I'll just keep tearing into it.
If I'm allowed to respond, I'm happy to. I guess.
If you'd like to. If not,
we'll allow it.
Look, I don't know about you, but when I go to see a movie directed by the director of Leprechaun and it's called Rumpelstiltskin, I'm not going in with my book in hand expecting the lore to be perfect here. I know what I'm getting into, and if you don't know what you're getting into, then you're a goddamn fool. That's what I have to say about that.
Another dig at Maynard. My God.
Hey, go ball. I deserve that one.
All right, so let's talk about what we see in the movie. Now that we know Mark Jones is choosing to eschew the lore, except when it's convenient, which is only, again, to pull out this humongous fairy tale book from this blonde woman who we don't know who she is as she leaves. At least she gets to survive through the movie. The movie starts with the most painful police shootout I have ever seen. You mean to tell me that a cop's not going to shoot a guy with a gun? An LA cop is not going to shoot a guy with a gun? Come on, give it up. And then he does shoot him as he's running away. Maybe that is more in keeping with LA cops. Take that, LA.
I got to do it in the back.
But yeah, right. He's like, I can't shoot him in the face. So anyway, So what does this distraught mother do when her husband Russell is murdered? She names her baby John after Russell's partner. What? He didn't even try to save Russell, and he was there the whole time. And it has nothing to do with flowers. What the hell? So the movie is constantly forgetting things that it was trying to set up and knock down. A big example of this is, remember what I just told you about Russell, how he was a cop and how she is now a widow of a cop. So you know what she has lots of contacts with? Cops. You know who helps her out when Rumpelstiltskin attacks her the first time? All of her cop buddies. The second time, what should she do? Go to the police station where all of her cop buddies are to protect her kid, or drive off into the desert. Now, I may just be a simple country lawyer, but I'm driving off to the cops who all know you, who explicitly said they believed you. And why were there no cops positioned outside the friend's house? There was an ongoing threat on her life. They knew she was attacked. The house was a shambles. She wasn't making any of this up. And the captain specifically said, I know you well enough to know you're telling the truth, to believe you. Then he's out of the movie. That's it. That's all we get from her cop friends. Makes absolutely no sense. She gets to make a phone call when she's arrested by the sheriff's department. Now, who would be good to call to talk to other cops? Possibly other cops. But she calls a witch that Rumpelstiltskin then kills with magic. Can we talk for a second about how wildly inconsistent Rumpelstiltskin's magic is for the purposes of this movie? One of the first things we see him do is teleport. He never teleports again. He opts to jump out a window. He's constantly complaining about how he doesn't have enough time. Seemingly, he has tons of time. He says, oh, you'll see me before midnight. He doesn't. He sees him the next day. Like, what the hell's going on with the timetable? Is it 3 days? Is it not? They're never expressly clear. You can make those assumptions if you are familiar with the Rumpelstiltskin lore, but they are eschewing so much of that in the movie. You have no idea what his motivations are, what his timetable is. Why does he need to be in the cemetery to do it? Why doesn't he use his magic to strangle the mom, to strangle the shock jock, Howard Stern analog? I have no idea what kind of show he's running in LA that's on at lunchtime where he's asking women to jump around in their bikinis. But my point is...
Jerry Springer.
Oh, okay, I guess maybe he was like local access Jerry Springer. That's fine. Regardless, it's absolutely bizarre that Rumpelstiltskin, doesn't just kill them. He doesn't need them alive, and he clearly dispatches everyone else with a blum. And I would go into the comedy aspects of it here too, but I don't want to keep steamrolling here. Graham, if you have any objections,
I have a lot to say. I would certainly like to. I would like to let you finish, and then I have a spiel of my own.
All right, fair enough. Then I'm gonna keep barreling forward here.
Right,
now, one of the things Mark Jones said very famously in a 2020 interview with Fangoria magazine about the 25th anniversary. I mean, we shouldn't be celebrating anniversaries for things like Rumpelstiltskin, but such as it is, it hasn't gotten its
objection.
There he is. That's what got him.
Woke him up.
Now,
I've been awake.
Wait, no, what's your objection?
My objection is that absolutely we should be celebrating an anniversary of this film. Why are some films automatically not canonized simply because you don't, they're not aliens or something? Jesus fucking Christ.
Hey, it's not me. Hey, take it up with Criterion Collection, man. Apparently they're releasing Baby Boy very soon. But
we're not talking about the Criterion Collection. You know who we are talking about? TerrorVision. Put this shit out in 4K. That's what I'm talking about.
There's no Shout Factory release forthcoming. There's a single DVD release out there that's pathetic.
That is not true. TerrorVision released a 4K special edition a couple of years ago about this, of this film. I am an author inside their book of essays. Thank you very much on this
book of essays. What is this world called?
Expert witness.
Hey, that's a good reason to pick a movie, though. Anyway, my point being is, Mark Jones said in that interview that he didn't want to shy away from the comedy because he thought that's one of the reasons Leprechaun worked. Again, for reference, Leprechaun was made a few years earlier for literally a third of the budget. Leprechaun was made for just under $1 million. This movie was made for just over $3 million. If you compare the two, you would have guessed the other way around. because Leprechaun's actually stylish and coherent and makes sense and looks good. Whereas the $3 million went to, now Mark Jones was joking, but having watched the movie, I don't think it's much of a joke when he said it went to his bigger paycheck. So
it went to blowing up a goddamn 18-wheeler. I'm sorry.
So for all the good that did, Rumpelstiltskin was still fine, and that happened in the middle of the movie. They shot their load too early, and we sputter out to the end. But
who among us? Glass houses.
Let's talk about these comedic elements, because Mark Jones said he was very much inspired by some of his earlier TV work in animation. He also worked for the A-Team. That's why Rumpelstiltskin says, I love it when a plan comes together. But here's the thing. Hannibal says, I love it when a plan comes together. He puts a cigar in his mouth. Rumpelstiltskin actually has a cigar, and he doesn't put it in his mouth in that scene. He can't even get his own reference right. And he could have. It would have been so easy. But the fact of the matter is, Mark Jones is a bit of a hack, and he doesn't really care. Again, he was
objection.
Just doing it to line his pockets, as he said in the Fangoria
I want to hear the objection.
Well, let him object.
This is slander. It's slander without a point.
Not in open court. We're immune. Wait, no, that's the floor of Congress. Well, regardless, if Mark Jones wants to come at me, he could. First of all,
this is the goddamn Supreme Court.
Well, you know, look.
I don't think he's listening to this. I take a wild guess and guess that he's not listening.
I'm going to send it to him. I think. If we could get Nicholas Mayer to listen to the show, we should get a hack like Mark Jones to listen. Okay, so regardless, let's get back on track. The comedy doesn't work for this because Rumpelstiltskin is all over the place, right? Is the idea supposed to be that since he's from the 15th century that he doesn't understand the modern world? Or is the joke that he's from the 15th century but inexplicably understands the modern world, which doesn't make any sense? He calls these things steeds, he calls them chariots, but he knows how to drive stick. He says American made. America wasn't even a country back then. And why doesn't he have a French accent? Anyway, so the point is, the stuff that's played up for comedy reads more as confusion. And then when you have the violence sprinkled in, the violence isn't actually particularly funny. And it's not even particularly gruesome. Like when he snaps the best friend's neck and then he hobbles out of the house, I took care of that bitch. It's like, I mean, yeah, I guess you did. But okay, so now what? Are you going to teleport and kill the woman? No. Why did you hide in the house for 3 fucking hours, Rumpelstiltskin? What the hell were you doing? My point is, on every conceivable level that this movie was supposed to work, it fails. The comedy is not particularly funny. The shock jock is an interesting way to spice up the movie because you need another character. You need to save the damsel in distress, even though in the Rumpelstiltskin lore, the damsel saves herself. You need the man to come in and to save the day. And he starts off kind of funny, and then he gets really played out. I mean, how many times do you have to hear him sound like Al Brooks, like falling down the stairs, for crying out loud? That's every scene. Oh, you know, it's like, give it up, man. Jesus Christ, what the hell is this movie? So
Great Al Brooks.
Thank you. But when we finally get to the end, it's all over. What do they try to do? They try to set up a sequel. What the hell? 3 years later, it's 1998. Who cares? There's a baby. Doesn't matter because the curse is so oddly specific. And frankly, there was no reason to believe that the curse would be reapplied to him anyway. Shouldn't it be some strange new curse that gets applied to him? But no, they just Beetlejuice it. Rumpelstiltskin, Rumpelstiltskin, Rumpelstiltskin. And he's dead. He's back in that jade statue. It makes no sense in the context of the movie, of what we saw in the movie, guys. Not even just understanding the lore. So, I guess to put a button on it, this director left Leprechaun because he said Rumpelstiltskin was going to be it. He got the big budget from Dino De Laurentiis to do this. He said, this is going to be the next franchise. This is going to be huge. He didn't direct the movie for another 9 years after this, and he's still out there bleeding about wanting to do a sequel. It's fucking pathetic. Put this one down. All right. The prosecution rests.
Okay. The prosecution is rested. Mr. Skipper, you may proceed with any further argumentation.
I heard a whole lot of hemming and hawing about logic. You know, this doesn't make any sense. You know, well, does he talk like this because of this? Does he talk like this because of this? And, you know, a quote came to mind that I definitely didn't Google and just look up. This was just in my head. It's a quote from Aristotle. A probable impossibility is preferable to an improbable possibility. You, sir, are asking whether a medieval baby-stealing goblin could drive a motorcycle. And
Yes, I am. In the context of the movie.
And Aristotle, I think, would suggest that you are asking the wrong question. The correct question, sir, is whether a motorcycle-riding goblin is the inevitable and satisfying culmination of what we've all come to the theater to see. And I posit that answer is yes. Do you want to hear some reasons why this film rules?
Yes.
There's a slow-mo death scene in the first 10 minutes that is clearly not shot at a high frame rate. That's fucking 90s gold. You have a witch eating dog food out of a can. You have a steamy sex scene with a ghost. You have a wisecracking best friend who is fucking thirsty. And it's a little creepy. And I love that she's one of our main protagonists. You have Rumpelstiltskin.
Objection. Not really. She gets bumped off pretty early in the film. There's a good 2/3 of the movie left when she dies.
She is the Marion Crane of this film. You have Rumpelstiltskin riding a chopper. You have Tommy Blaze. And say what you will about his performance, he plays a hell of a shitty daytime talk show host who is never really redeemed, and I think that's brave storytelling.
What do you mean? Of course he's redeemed. He saves the baby at the end.
Yeah, but he's still a shitty guy.
No, he's not. That was the whole point of Ryan's nickname. He's out of the asshole business.
I disagree. I think that his subtext in this film is that he's saving the baby. Sure, he's happy. He's nice. We're all happy. But underneath, you know that he's really going to go and do some disreputable things. That's my take on Tommy Blaze. Rumpelstiltskin, he drives over a cliff in a semi. They blow up an 18-wheeler for real, and Rumpelstiltskin utters a line on par with the great horror quips of all time, "Fucketh me."
I thought that's what I heard.
That is the stay away from her, you bitch, of 1995. Now, I want to tell a story here, and this is why I care so much about this movie. And this is a true story. So, this movie came out in 1995. I was 12. And the Skipper family, every year for Thanksgiving, the whole extended family would gather at my grandparents' farm. And one member of the family was chosen to have the honor of choosing a movie from the rental store that we would all watch as a family. Now, of course, this is back in the day before streaming. We didn't really have any TV out there. We had one VCR. We had no tapes except for what was brought out there from the rental store. I was finally 12 years old. Thus, I was deemed old enough to bring the film. I went to the video store. I scoured the aisles. I was already a horror kid, and I saw in the new releases section the cover for a film called Rumpelstiltskin. Now, I was still a scaredy cat. I wasn't ready for things like Hellraiser or Texas Chainsaw Massacre or any of that stuff, okay? I saw Rumpelstiltskin, and I thought, now, there's a horror movie that I bet I can handle. It's based on a fairy tale. How crazy could it be? This has got to be fine for the whole family. And by whole family, I mean my cousins, my parents, and my grandparents, including my Depression-era farmer grandfather, who was a very simple man, a kind man, and an old-fashioned man. So we all sit down on Thanksgiving night to watch Rumpelstiltskin. And pretty early on, my father turned to me and said, "Graham, what the fuck are you having us watch?" We watched the whole movie. And here's the thing. Everybody was ragging on me the whole time. But everybody was having a great fucking night. People were laughing, people were joking, and this group of people that never would have watched this movie and certainly never would have watched it together were all watching this film and having a great time, even though everybody was complaining, saying, "Man, it's bad, nah, it's whatever." It became a lasting memory. The next year, after a whole bunch of shit eating that I had to do over the course of the year of all my relatives complaining about the horrible movie I made them watch, I begged them to give me another chance. I said, let me redeem myself. Let me choose the movie again this year. So what movie did I choose the next year?
Rumpelstiltskin again. Rumpelstiltskin again. Yup.
Yeah.
Everybody moaned and cried, but you know what? It was with a glint of happiness in their eye. By the end, we were quoting familiar lines. Everybody said, "Fucketh me" together. It was a beautiful family bonding moment. Now, the next year, they didn't trust me. They didn't give me the chance to redeem myself a third time. They didn't trust me, and for good reason. But they did let my older cousin Kevin choose. And what movie did my older cousin Kevin bring?
Oh, do it, Kevin. Do it, Kevin.
Brought Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah.
From that day forward, Rumpelstiltskin was the film we watched as a family every single Thanksgiving. And it continues to this day to be the film that I watch every single Thanksgiving night. I have seen this movie, however old I am, over 12. I'm 43 years old now. I've seen it every single year since then, and I'll tell you what. Is this movie fucking Citizen Kane? No. Is this movie even Leprechaun? No, but you know what? I've seen Leprechaun a handful of times. It's fine. It has the then unknown Jennifer Aniston. Big whoop. But this movie I can watch every single year, and it makes me smile, it makes me laugh, it makes me cringe, and it makes me remember why I fucking enjoy movies. Because I want to remind everyone that we are allowed to laugh during the movies. We are allowed to have a good time during the movies. Mark Jones knew exactly what he was doing when he was making this movie. He made the movie he wanted to make. People took it way too seriously, just like the prosecution did.
He does that.
And they prevented themselves from having as good a fucking time as me and my family. So that is why Rumpelstiltskin deserves to be in the canon of great films. Not because it's, like Kubrick or fucking Scorsese or any of those hacks, but because it's goddamn fun. So, fucketh me, I love this film.
I'd like to respond because Graham brought up something that I've never heard of before, a Thanksgiving tradition of watching bad movies and making fun of them. Does Ryan, Ben, Maynard, does that
No, it's not
watching
it's not
bad
developing
movies,
anything in my brain. I don't know.
maybe a crowd repeating lines or making up their own, what was that, a riffing while watching a bad movie
never
on
catch on.
Thanksgiving?
All sounds unfamiliar. I don't
No, yeah, okay. The operative word that Graham kept using, and I admire the dedication to the joke, don't get me wrong. You replace Rumpelstiltskin with Omega Doom, it's still just as funny, and the movie's still just as bad. The reason this is funny, why that's such a great personal story, and thank you for sharing it, is because Rumpelstiltskin is bad. If you were doing this with a good movie, it's not funny. It's like, hey, we did RoboCop 2 every Thanksgiving. Okay, maybe that's a little funny, but you see my point. So you're bonding. No, let me finish real quick. You're bonding over how bad it is. You're laughing at it. And I'm not asking Mark Jones to be as good as Kubrick or Wells. I'm asking you to be as good as Mark Jones from a couple years ago when he did Leprechaun. That's it. He can't even do that. That's my response to that.
Well, my rebuttal that I'll say to that is, what is bad? If I enjoy a film, does that make the movie bad? I have never been one to subscribe to the idea of so bad it's good. I don't agree with that. I think that with sincerity come great films. There's a reason why everybody loves The Room, right? It's not because it's a bad movie. It's because it's a sincere effort by a singular voice to say something. And that singular voice is fucking nuts. But we're engaged with it. We enjoy it. Therefore, I will say that is a good film. I sincerely think this. This is not just me bullshitting. I sincerely think that Rumpelstiltskin is a good film. It knows what it's doing. It has these puns that, whether or not you like puns, look, if you don't like puns, you're not going to like this movie. I enjoy puns. They're fucking stupid. That's the whole point of puns. But I enjoy them. So give me a movie full of them. I like Max Grodenchik. Max Grodenchik dedicates himself. He fucking commits to the role. Okay? He was proud of this movie, and he should have been. The special effects work in this is fantastic. The straight-faced nature with which every single character delivers these ridiculous lines, it's a magical potion, pun intended, that is there to provide us with a fun night at the movies. And that's why I don't think it's just bad. If it were truly inept, it wouldn't get any reaction at all. But it does. We have a good time. I cannot imagine that even you sat down and watched this movie and that you didn't at least go, well, fuck, that was wild as hell.
Because of how bad it was, Graham, though. So if you were looking at the intentionality and you're asking, how do you define bad? What can we even say is bad? We've been doing it for a long time on this show. So a quick primer. A lot of it has to go towards intentionality. Mark Jones has said that he wanted this movie to be scary. It's not. And funny. It's not. And to kick off a brand new franchise. He wanted to revolutionize the horror genre for the 90s because he said that he was told the slashers are out. And in many ways, that's true. The 90s did need revitalizing, and we wouldn't get that until the very famous Neo slashers came out, the Neo horror movies. What was that? Final Destination? No, Scream was, yes.
Jesus Christ, let it go, Dylan.
I think it's funny. But my point is, Graham, we have a lot of precedents here for what makes a bad movie, and a lot of it has to do with failures of those singular voices. One of the reasons The Room is bad, it's not because it has nothing to do with sincerity. People sincerely make bad movies all the time. It's because he thought it was something bigger than it was. He thought he was doing something that he simply wasn't. He was proudly showing us 2 + 2 = 5, and we have to tell him that's wrong. It doesn't matter how sincere you are, and that's where we find Rumpelstiltskin. It just fails on every level. And the fact that the director still can't realize that now, well, can't realize that as of 2020. That was the interview I read. You know, it's frankly a little sad. And it's a reason he has not done a lot of movies after this. The next movie he would make would be in 2004. And I think the last movie he did was in like 2016. He's just not getting a lot of work. And there's a reason.
Look, directors don't get a lot of work for a lot of reasons, okay? Stuart Gordon
usually bad movies.
Stuart Gordon couldn't get a movie made for a while. Why? Was he a bad filmmaker? No, it's because the industry chooses who they choose, okay? I don't think that marking somebody's career is as a barometer. I don't think you can use that as a barometer necessarily for are they good or are they bad. I think that there's a lot of variables in play that are way too complex to get into here. What I will say is this, is my point about sincerity and about whether or not a movie is good. Look, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and goodness is, of course, subjective, and I don't think you'd argue against that. I think that in terms of, like, when you say Mark Jones wanted this to be funny, I think this is funny. Now, I don't know. I think when he says fuck with me, I think it's funny. I don't know why I think it's funny. I don't want to sit there and dissect whether or not I think it's witty because of the language of the day. Who the fuck cares? I think it's funny. I laugh when he says it. And I think that this movie, and a lot of movies like that, boil down to that for me of, did I enjoy it? It's a good movie. And fine, we can disagree on that, and I'm sure a lot of people disagree about that. But there are a lot of movies that I own. I own Birdemic. I have Birdemic on Blu-ray, all right? Birdemic, I will say, yeah, it's a good movie. Was it what that director thought it was going to be? No. Do I enjoy watching it? Yes. And yeah, sure, there's that whole show that you were trying to mention that I just can't think of the name of right now. There's a whole, there's a lot of people that are going to talk about how things are so bad it's good. And as I said before, I just don't subscribe to that idea. I think that Mark Jones set out to make this movie. I think that he made this movie. I think Mark Jones finds it funny in the same way that I find it funny. I'm not sitting there laughing going, ha ha ha, that's so bad. I'm laughing because it's cheesy. I like cheesy humor. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. And I don't think that that's a reason to say this movie's bad, therefore block it or whatever, throw it into the fire. I think that if you enjoy...
That's in October.
Right. I think that if you enjoy the film, no matter what the film is and no matter what the intention behind making the film is, I think that if you enjoy a film, the film deserves to live on and the film deserves to be seen by more people, because why can't we have a little fucking joy in this hellhole of a place?
And are you resting on that?
I'm going to rest on that.
On the hellhole.
On that. I'm resting on the hellhole.
That's where your chair is on. Yeah, it's true.
All sides
you can't get up or it comes out.
Jesus Christ. All sides have rested their cases. The attorneys will now present their closing arguments. Mr. Schlender, you may begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, We did not have a lot of fun here tonight. And I am going to ask, what are we doing here? No, all joking aside, look, Rumpelstiltskin fails on a lot of internal levels just in the movie. We spent a lot of time with the defense talking about how the movie made them feel as they were watching it. But looking at the internal logic of the movie, the plot points the movie itself sets up, they fail. Rumpelstiltskin's magic being one piece of the puzzle, his knowledge of technology, whether that's supposed to be played for laughs or not. Whether the humor even lands, I'd postulate it doesn't. I think the funniest stuff is the unintentionally bad things that we do see in this movie. That acting choices that we see. I mean, it's one mess after another. We see the characters making decisions that are stupid after they had already made smart decisions in similar situations. Characters come and go with no explanation. And we have no clear motive on Rumpelstiltskin here. She never made a deal with him. He never asked for a ring or a necklace or anything like that. How much you want to pay attention to the original lore, that's up to you. It does get introduced in the movie. I think it's a fair exhibit. And how they choose to ignore it to tell a less interesting story, I think is worth mentioning. So I'll end with saying, look, we can enjoy bad movies. I agree with Mr. Skipper. I don't think there is so bad it's good. I think bad is the operative word when people say that. I know that's a stance we come down in this court with all the time. There are going to be bad movies we enjoy. There's definitely a place for them. Stay tuned for my recommendation. There'll be one, though I don't know how much I actually enjoyed it. So, yes, have fun. Have this bad movie be part of your family tradition. But we here in these hollowed halls, we have a duty. It's true. We do. We need to determine if films are guilty of being bad. And the preponderance of evidence, just from what we see in the movie, not how it makes us feel, but what we see in the movie, Mark Jones's own damning words, that is what will make this movie guilty today. Thank you.
Mr. Skipper, please present your closing argument.
This movie is special to me. I did talk about how the movie made me feel, and I'm a human. Art is one of the last bastions of a society that is steadily getting more and more controlled by the threats of the non-human, of AI. But art is one of those things that's not able to fall prey to those threats. Art is one of the things that has to remain solely human. And as a human, I feel like the prosecution approached this more from a perspective of trying to check off boxes. What is good? What is bad? Why does this not fill these boxes or does? And I don't care about the boxes. I feel in this movie makes this human feel joy. It makes me laugh. It does. It brought me closer to my family. And does that make this movie good? I would argue that yes, it does. So, if this is a win today, I think it's a win for art. I think it's a win for humanity. I think it's a win for our very souls.
Ooh. Thank you both. Members of the jury, Mr. Maynard Bangs, Mr. Big Ben Haslar, and Mr. Smells a lot like a baby named Ryan Luis Rodriguez. You've all heard the facts concerning this case. It is now up to you to determine if this film is guilty of being a bad movie. The bailiff will escort you to the deliberation room to render your verdict.
Right this way? 7 years now, and not one of you has guessed my name either.
Oh my God, I've never
Larry.
thought of that.
It's definitely Larry.
No, I don't think the bailiff has a name.
It's just the bailiff.
More like a concept.
And that's why he gets away with stealing.
He's like the
babies so
janitor in
much.
Scrubs. Maybe he has an identity that we just don't know.
His mom. All right, gentlemen. Interesting case. And this is the season premiere. We have not mentioned it. Just saying season premiere. We'll get excited. All right. Thank you. All right.
Oh, I heard all the party favors going off.
Damn it.
Goes wild. Yay.
Thank you. Now I don't have to do it. Ryan, what did you think?
Why me?
Why not you? We never
You
start
set
with
the bar. We're too scared.
When this movie started, I thought it looked like something that Riff Tracks would eventually do. So I was definitely a little curious. And then when the guy got part of his head blown off, I was like, okay, I'm on board. I'm listening. What's going on? And then I had no idea that within half an hour it would turn into Duel. Like, there's a legitimate trucker chase that ends up with a semi blowing up. And when you look at a movie called Rumpelstiltskin and that's in your movie, it's spinning things into gold, and I can't get a hold on what this movie is. I have no idea. It's so amorphous. It's such a blob of a motion picture, but I can't call it good necessarily, but I did enjoy watching some of it.
I hope the trucks were on the back
And
of
I
the
have no
box.
idea how they afforded that Flock of Seagulls song with only a $3 million budget, but that's just me.
There you go. That's what they.
It was
spent
cheaper
on.
back then.
I mean, I can see the similar to how Leprechaun kind of played with the lore of the Leprechaun just a bit. I mean, this plays with the lore of Rumpelstiltskin. He does make a deal, right? Unwittingly, she gets a wish, which is to see her husband.
Yeah,
who
it's
I
not a
personally
deal.
do not agree with the defense is a ghost. I believe it is Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah,
that
no, she had
begs-
sex with Rumpelstiltskin. She absolutely did.
And he retransforms back in the shower.
She didn't get what she wished for, though. So
yes,
like,
she wanted. Did she?
She
Say
wanted her
baby
her
to meet the
husband.
husband, or the husband to meet the baby?
And she like it was Rumpelstiltskin. I think it wasn't like.
I guess you might have an argument. You might have an argument.
Technicality, but either way, I mean, like he doesn't do wishes like that. Like it is bargains, and she doesn't like give anything. So it doesn't work either way.
So she's got to give something, I guess.
Something, yeah.
Well, she gave tears, and ultimately she does.
She didn't ask for the tears.
The bargain is the baby. She just didn't know it. Like, I'll give you your husband, and so I get the baby.
Maybe.
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
I mean, she would have to know it for it to be a fair deal, which is what a fairy
apparently
tale
in the
would do,
horror
but-
version, that's the thing they took out. You didn't have to know it. Ryan, what did you think of of Tommy Blaze?
Who was he playing?
I believe the
Howard
male
Stern
lead.
type guy.
He's
the
like
funny-
Andy Samberg, that guy.
I generally don't have any problems with the acting in the film. I think it's, I mean, it's definitely of a direct-to-video vibe, but that's not necessarily a slam. There are plenty of great movies that are released direct-to-video. This is not a great movie, but I had no problems with the acting. My qualms are just the consistency of it, and it does get uninteresting after a while, but for that 15-minute little smackdown right there with the trucks, I was just like, I can't believe I'm actually watching this. I can't believe I'm watching a movie called Rumpelstiltskin, and this is happening. And I love the fact that they got Alice Beasley to be in the movie, better known as Agnes DePesto from Moonlighting or Mrs. Grotke from Recess, and then they kill her pretty quickly, and it was kind of sad. And also, a question about saying the name 3 times. Is this movie based on Candyman rules? Because I didn't realize that's how Rumpelstiltskin worked. If it was
Again,
trying to figure out his name,
I
then
think it's like the
Mr.
3
Mixer
nights,
Stone.
the 3 chances to guess the name.
Yeah,
from the
I
fairy
think
tale.
they were trying to again.
The
bend
fairy
it
tale
into a
version
horror.
sounds like the Mr. Mxyzptlk argument, where you have to say his name
yes.
backwards or get him to say it backwards.
Yeah, you've got to guess his name, and then somebody overhears him singing his own name in the woods in Victory, and that's how they learn his name. He's an idiot. But so I can see the horror version of it, though. Like, I mean, I don't think leprechauns kill you to take their gold back either. You know, they kind of do a side thing. I generally liked the acting. I wish Rumpelstiltskin kind of had a different affected voice. I like his laugh a lot. But his voice is not always monstrous enough. I wish he was a little scary. I wish he was either more scary or more funny. The problem with this movie, it's kind of afraid to kind of go in one way or another. I mean, it's never totally gruesome. I think the neck snap is like it's like kind of a cop out. It's so quick and fast. You know, I want to just rip her head off. You know,
Yeah, I
give
wanted
us a
more
lot of
blood
gore.
guts.
But it felt like they didn't have the budget in that scene and a few other things. But like, oh, just snap her neck and she'll fall over and we'll be done. And then with the comedy, it's like there's some funny stuff I do like when he's riding the motorcycle, but it's not a laugh riot. When it goes down the hill is pretty funny, and I think there's no way that it can't be a comedy with him rolling down that hill backwards, because that was nothing but funny. Big Ben, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm kind of trying to be sympathetic to the defense's argument about what a bad movie is, because I do think there's like tiers of bad movies, and people like sort of lump them all together. Where if it's bad, like they're all worthless and they're all not enjoyable. And there's like kind of a tier where like MST3K and RiffTrax like really work well. Is like when the crew, the directors, the creative talent like had some good ideas, they had good intentions, but they just like had the lack of budget or whatever to like really get it to the finish line. And then there's bad where like those shows can do nothing with it. You know, they like even they can't save it because it's just completely joyless. And this would like fit into that upper category if this were to be called a bad movie, which I think they do give themselves a little bit of worth. I love his Thanksgiving story there. This is a good movie that you can do that with. This is a good movie to.
Oh, I think
it's
I
always
like Graham's personal story and connection and all.
Well,
but
I like the fucketh me, you know, like that is intentional. You know, that is something that they're adding into it. But like you're saying with like the snapping of the head, like they
through
can't
his
get it
family
all the way
eyes,
they want.
It seems to be that they are enjoying the badness of the movie.
Yeah,
together.
for sure. They are.
So
Yeah.
it sounds like a very nice, good event where they enjoy
That doesn't make it
potentially a
worthless, is my
bad
point.
movie. But I think you could do it with almost any bad movie.
I don't
that's
know.
more
I think there are
about
some
having
that
a
are
great family.
I think there are some you can't save, like even in that kind of.
We'll never know.
circumstance.
If we could go back in time and make the skippers watch a different movie, would they still have a wonderful time? They might. Any other thoughts you had on the movie, though, Ben?
Yeah, no, I do wish it was closer to the Rumpelstiltskin legend. It's not. I do wish.
You're married to the legend that much?
Well, if you're gonna call it that, then why
guess.
why put the name on it at all? Like, why not just make
I-
it any random demon?
I think the prosecution had it. It was just a good name.
Hard to
Yeah,
spell, though.
yes. I watched this on Canopy. I don't know if you did as well, Ryan.
Which
Yes,
local
it
level?
did.
But when I was hunting for screenshots on this, I did see some bits of that 4K stuff that the defense alluded to, and I can tell you it looks way better than what I saw on Canopy. So I do think like a good clean cut of this does step it up a bit, and unfortunately I didn't have that experience with it.
Yeah, Canopy's definitely the DVD master.
Yeah, and it's standard. It's like the standard
Yeah,
frame, so it's like
right.
cuts off a lot on the sides.
Or it could be open mat, so maybe we're not missing anything. I'd have to ask the director, but I don't know where he is.
All right. Yeah, the prosecution was way mean to the director for no reason. He's not usually that hard on any director. I don't know why he went so hard on this.
He just
Yeah, I mean, you make a
act.
movie. I'm also sympathetic to that. Like, none of us here have made a movie. So
Just
Well, I don't-
responding
I
to what he
have,
said. He said these things.
You're not in this room.
Just, jeez, Louise.
So let's start locking in. Ryan, what are you thinking?
You guys know how much I love a personal story tied to a
Yes.
movie that I wasn't crazy about. Still amazed that this is the movie that we're doing right now, but taking on its various merits and the fact that I literally scratched my head once or twice going, oh, they're going there now. I'm going to go not guilty.
Okay. I'm not expecting that from you. Big Bun.
we are kind of a court of law, so that makes it harder. Like if we're doing like the star ratings on Letterboxd, like where the star ratings are, does it fall beneath a 2? But this is also the kind of film where why they have the heart, you know, where you can like objectively say, hey, you know, it's objectively this, but it also gets the heart because I love it. And I want to give that to people. I think like you can enjoy this, but by law standards, I think it does fall short of the metric. So I'm going to make things harder for you, Maynard, and say guilty.
Yeah, you're a dick. Total dick. All right, now I gotta pick something. Maximum effort. So there are definitely pros and cons to the movie. I do think the practical effects of what we see are pretty good. It's nice to see like real trucks exploding. So like everything about it being a 90s movie is nice. I don't know if there's $3 million on the screen. But it definitely has some nice ideas. I like the finale too, the baby in the mother's arms and him dancing around the graveyard's kind of cool. But I think it trips up so early by like there's no reason for that woman to know that it's Rumpelstiltskin early and tell them so that she knows it the whole time, because the whole point of this magical being apparently is you can control him with his name. So like there was no reason to have that character say it. The witch could have told her in the last act, hey, it's Rumpelstiltskin, by the way. You know, here's how you beat him. You know, that would be fine. I like a lot of the franchise touches though, like where the director wanted to keep going, right? Because like they'll be able to keep finding the Rumpelstiltskin statue, which is cool. There'll always be a new baby every single time. You can make different wishes happen. His powers are definitely all over the place, but I guess so with leprechauns. Maybe some of his more powerful things like choking a witch from distance he can only do sometimes. It takes a lot. Maybe he can only do it to witches because they're magic too. I don't know.
How many times can Darth Vader do it? We don't question it there.
I was just about to say.
I guess, yeah, Vader could potentially. I think Vader's probably limited to distance a bit, but
he chokes someone from like across like a whole solar system, like when they're on the screens.
True, he does do that. Yeah, that's an Empire.
Yeah. So I do appreciate Graham's personal story that he really enjoys it, but it does sound like his family gets together and likes a bad movie. And there's nothing wrong with liking a bad movie. And if a movie's bad, it doesn't mean you shouldn't watch it. We say it all the time. It doesn't mean it shouldn't be made or shouldn't exist. But I do think that this falls into so bad it's good, at least for them. And I think that operative word is so bad. It has to be bad. So I'm going to go guilty. You're going to have to go out there and tell that very handsome judge.
Mr. Foreman, have you reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor. In the case of the people versus Rumpelstiltskin, we find the defendant guilty of being a bad movie.
What?
Hey, joy!
Fucketh me!
Worth it.
The verdict is so rendered. Rumpelstiltskin is hereby sentenced to a lifetime of schoolyard taunts of Rumpelshitskin. Court is adjourned.
Tough affair.
Could have been Rumpelforeskin.
It's in the movie.
This is Rumpelstiltskin, spinning the truth as thin as kin, reporting to you live outside the Reels of Justice. Graham Skipper, if you'll begin, what thoughts have you on Dylan's win?
I pretend this wasn't prepared.
I am obviously disappointed. I will say that I will be appealing this decision to the higher courts of the land, so be prepared for that filing. But yeah, look, I said my piece, I think, and I did appreciate, I had my ear pressed to the wall when the jury was deliberating, and I do appreciate the sentiment that, even if you consider a film to be quote unquote bad, that it doesn't mean that it shouldn't be watched. So hey, look, no matter what your feelings on bad versus good are, this movie's fun as hell. And if me singing its praises in the court of law is going to get a few more people to seek it out, especially in that beautiful 4K edition, which really is legitimately gorgeous, then so be it. I've had a lifetime of great memories of this movie. I think that other people will too. In fact, the first Thanksgiving of the pandemic, I was part of a group that was doing like weekly movie nights every Thursday. And so then, of course, Thursday Thanksgiving rolled around, and I said, I want to choose the movie, and I had everybody watch Rumpelstiltskin with me, and we had a great fucking time. So this movie's a great time, and I certainly respect the decision of the court, hey, whatever, so it goes.
Thank you, and here comes Dylan J. Schlender. Good sir, before you disappear yonder, can you tell us whether you cheer or ponder the verdict, or squander?
Well, Rumpelstiltskin, if that is your real name, and
I don't know.
Make it up. I can't quite remember. I take no small pleasure in this victory. I take enormous pleasure in this victory. God, what? Look, we punch the hacker card a lot on Wheels of Justice, and none are more grateful than me. But it's very, very important that we understand why these kinds of movies are enjoyable, why we do like watching these kind of movies. I love Graham's personal story, and I watch terrible movies with my father all the time.
Me too.
Sometimes with the pleasure of Mr. Bangs. Yes,
Well, I was
exactly.
going to say your father.
Yeah, no, I know, quite literally. No, so like
Mr. Banks is your father?
No,
You can't prove that. You can't prove that, Graham.
So look, I get it. I really do. But it's important that in what we do in this courtroom, we have that demarcation line between good and bad. And like everyone's saying, and I agree with fully, you can enjoy bad movies. You should watch bad movies. I recommend a bad movie almost every goddamn week. So I want to thank Graham for telling his story. I know that this is a personal one to him, and I've lost movies that are personal to me too, man. I know that stings. So it was a good fight though, and I do think people should watch this movie and make up their own mind. And I just love the idea of Graham's family getting together and watching that Thanksgiving. Like that melted my heart too. So I'm like I love that. So I'll see you guys at the post show.
Thank you very much. And before we end this merry edition, shall we return the studio for learned exposition?
Ooh.
Wow, really off
like
the cuff
Rumpel.
there.
It's
Yeah,
not-
I don't
yeah.
want to be the judge. I don't want to be the.
I didn't want to
court
be. I
reporter.
didn't want to do it. You forced me.
Okay,
Yeah,
if you're gonna make me, I might
That's what
as
he was
well
clacking
write
away at.
something.
Well, no, I just
Great,
wrote a
great
handful of
case.
rhymes. I had to string them together on the fly.
No, I had never seen this movie before. This is one of the movies like I wanted to rent as a kid, but I think I was too young at Act One Video. But I would have
I've
seen
never
it several
heard
times.
of this movie.
Yeah, it would have been no. Act One definitely had it, but it was just smack dab in the horror section, so you would have no idea the level of violence or non-violence because it's just lumped in with all of them.
It's
know?
a really like adult movie for like.
Especially when they make love, Rumpelstiltskin and her make love. For
Oh
sure.
yeah,
That's
you
him.
know, I got to be honest with you. I never have once in my life considered that was Rumpelstiltskin making love.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I
That's why he's in the shower.
always just thought it was.
I gave up on it fast, yeah.
You'll appreciate this overlap, Graham, that because I heard of this movie because I got like an issue of Fangoria, which was mentioned earlier. I think Godzilla may have been on the cover, and so I got it, and it had Rumpelstiltskin, a few like shots from it.
Oh,
And
nice.
It looked cool, but I had never ended up seeing it. I think I could see watching this again. I could see adding it into a Leprechaun marathon. I think it would be fine around like
Or
3 and
troll,
4.
or
Sure.
Yeah,
Troll 2.
maybe.
No, I
no, the
think
first
Troll
troll. The
has-
first troll. The first troll's
Troll
okay.
definitely has more whimsy.
Well, it's a marathon, so you're watching a
you
bunch
know?
of things. You've got to, you can. It's
Because you don't want to go up to like
quantity
Leprechaun in
over
the hood.
quality
It's just
at
like
that
Leprechaun, Rumpelstiltskin,
No,
troll.
we do want to go to the hood. We
No, we do
absolutely
not.
are going to the hood, and then we're
We go
going
to the
back
hood,
to
we're
the
up to no
hood,
good.
Rumpelstiltskin goes to the hood, so that it's covered here.
and then we're going back to.
I
the
can't
hood.
believe this movie was it like made in like 82 but released in 95? And it just does
I
not
had an
look like
80s vibe, yeah, for sure.
Right, I know. But
No,
hey,
it's totally 90s.
I do think Mark Jones pocketed a lot of $3 million. And Mark,
Good for
thank you
him.
for listening this whole time. I don't think you're a hack. I think you're a cool dude.
Oh,
you
bravo
know,
for
I just-
thinking he made it this
I
far after
just-
what you
I
said.
just-
Yeah, right.
I have a job to do, and I think he appreciates that. So when he writes in and lets us know what he thought, I'll let everyone know.
I know we don't use you went extra hard. You're gonna have to apologize to him personally. Now, Graham, what's been keeping you busy lately? What have you been up to?
I am currently in post on a feature film that I directed. Called.
Hey,
Called, I directed it, wrote it, started it. It is called Organonym, which is a made-up word, and I'm really, really proud of this movie. It stars me and Jeremy Gardner, among another slew of awesome folks, and yeah, I'm really excited for it to be coming out. It's through Antenna Releasing,
Our
and
friends.
we
Oh,
will hopefully have news on release dates and festival things and all that sort of stuff soon. So yeah, keep your eyes and ears peeled. But yeah, that's what I've been working on. I've just been in Organonym world.
can you give us like the
Antenna's my-
elevator?
Yeah, what's
boss
the
now.
elevator pitch of the plot?
Yeah.
It is about a filmmaker who is searching for joy in his art again, and then realizes that maybe his art is bleeding a little bit too much into his life.
Oh, okay.
Gotta keep it. Yeah, cool. What does the word mean? Organonym. What does it mean
Organonym,
to you.
How many points is it in Scrabble, more importantly?
That will be a lot more evident, I think, once you see the film. It is a word that I made up, and it has to do with names and organs.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that would make
So a
sense.
synonym is things that are similar, and organonym would be...
Nice, awesome. Yeah, we had Ryan Verrill from Antenna Releasing
My
Ah,
boss.
here
yes.
way last season.
Love Ryan.
Oh,
What did
all
he
the way
What did he
last
come
season.
on with?
The Sixth Sense.
Wait, was
Yeah.
he saying it was a bad movie or a good
No,
movie?
he
No,
defended
it was
was
a
defending
tough
it.
lift for him, for sure.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
could have done that too, Graham.
Yeah, no. He finally brought our M. Night Shyamalan case in. We've been waiting for a long time to do that particular one because we use it as an example nearly.
Yeah, we've done The Village and Lady in the Water and stuff.
Yeah, no, I know.
And he didn't fire me afterwards, so it all worked out very well.
But Sixth Sense is
I
example.
defend The Village?
No,
Bobby
Bobby
Lapierre
Lapierre did The Village.
I've defended The Village on other shows before. I love that movie.
It's a righteous.
Maybe
choice.
you're thinking of Screen Drafts.
I don't know.
I think that's likely.
Who knows?
You got to defend stuff there. You can come here and defend The Happening. How's that sound?
No,
Okay.
defend Trap.
Okay.
I'm fine with it. I also like that.
I want to talk about Old or Trapped. I mean, those are the two interesting ones.
I think it's just Trap. You're gonna have to learn the name of the movie.
Is it just Trap?
I'm a fan of Lady in the Water. Just saying.
We already did it.
I also am a fan of Lady in the Water, but I had to prosecute it. See, you got to kill your darlings on this show.
Yeah, well.
I am not a fan of it, and I sat in the jury and enjoyed it.
Now, we always ask for recommendations from our guests for movies you think people should see. So, Graham, what is a movie you think people should see?
Yeah, so I was thinking in terms of, kind of the Rumpelstiltskin, I don't know, ilk of what kind of movies. I'm a big fan of Japanese cinema. One of my favorite directors is Shinya Tsukamoto, best known for doing Tetsuo the Iron Man. And shortly after he did Tetsuo, he was tapped to try to make a more commercially viable movie. And so he made a film called Haruko the Goblin in 1991. And it's based on a manga, and basically it follows this archaeologist who's investigating an evil spirit that has been resurrected underneath this school. And students get possessed. There are severed heads. There's an incredible practical spider monster thing. Sort of like Evil Dead 2 vibes, The Thing vibes, Houseu vibes. Really fun movie. It got critically panned. And it was not received well, but Mondo Macabro put out a really great Blu-ray of it here in the States. And I think Third Window. I think I have the Third Window Blue from the UK, but it's a really great movie. It's super fun, really underseen. There is no actual goblin in it, so I don't know why it's called Haruko the Goblin. It's more like Haruko the Angry Forest Spirit, but it's really, really fun. Highly recommended. Way too few people have seen it. So Shinya Tsukamoto, 1991, Haruko the Goblin.
Figured they'd have another goblin like this goblin. Be like, oh, there's a lot of overlap, but no goblin in it. Well, maybe it's just a translation.
You said like a forest spirit. Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah.
But that doesn't fit on a marquee that well.
Rumpelstiltskin isn't explicitly a goblin, too. He's always just described as a small man.
Well, if he stopped squatting like that, he'd be all right. It must be.
That's true. The actor who played him is not particularly short, It's just...
No, obviously, he was squatting the whole time. It was nuts. What's yours, Rex Schlenzo?
Well, remember how Graham was saying, very nice things about how there are some movies that are so bad, but that doesn't mean they shouldn't have been made or they should be cast to hell. No, this one should. And I'm recommending Hippo's Revenge from 2025, clocking in at a whopping hour and 22 minutes, streaming where else? Everyone say it together. Tubi. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Try to keep up. It's not that hard. Hoopla. Now, what this whole movie is all about is a hippo not actually trying to get revenge because, it's a hippo, it's a poorly maintained zoo that the hippo is constantly breaking out of and killing people. No one thinks to kill the hippo or to shut down the zoo. That's really it, folks. That's what this movie is. It's a terrible CGI hippo, and it ends with them not killing the hippo, but putting the hippo back into captivity where it immediately kills again and escapes and the credits roll. There, I saved you a whopping hour, 22 minutes. But here's an interesting connection that I don't think anyone realized, especially me until just now. It features Yvonne George as one of the zookeepers. She's also one of the producers. I was perusing her IMDb profile page for research, naturally. And get this. She was in a version of Rumpelstiltskin that came out in 2025. You can't make that up. So maybe watch that instead. But the poster's going to say Hippo's Revenge. Support your local library.
I kind of want to watch the 2025 Rumpelstiltskin now.
I'm thinking we get down and watch it. Dude, you're going to like this Yvonne George. Apparently she plays the witch in it.
Okay.
I'll send you the link for research.
I'm a big fan of witches.
I'll send you the link for research.
Ryan, what have you got?
Have you ever watched a movie late in life and spent the entire runtime kicking yourself for not having watched it earlier? Feeling
Yes.
like you were wasting your time watching whatever garbage you saw for the third time instead? Well, that perfectly describes my feeling watching Carol Ballard's 1979 masterpiece, The Black Stallion. I can't defend my ignorance. I was an idiot for passing it over. But maybe it's because I confused it with Black Beauty, some TV movie level weepy for Hallmark Channel watchers and preteen girls. Instead, I was rewarded with a strikingly photographed, ethereal, intensely emotional drama about humankind's connection to creatures great and small. It's so good, I watched it twice in the span of a month, and I'm not the kind of person who does that. Except for Valley Girl, which I watched practically twice in a row. But we're not talking about Valley Girl. We're talking about The Black Stallion. It's a good movie. You should watch it. In place of Black Beauty, which is maybe a good movie for children? I don't know. The Black Stallion, not the TV version. Not The Black Stallion Returns. Not Young Black Stallion, the good one. It's currently streaming on Amazon Prime, but pick up the Criterion Blu-ray like me and help keep physical media alive. Like Dylan, support your local library.
Thank you. Sounds like a good version of Hippo's Revenge.
They do sound completely unrelated.
Can we go around the room real quick? Does anyone have another movie like that you put off for watching for a long time, and then once you watched it, became one of your favorites? For me, it was Ordinary People.
Organonym.
Right
Organonym, I think.
Yeah, there we go. The original,
you don't want to put
original
off
Wicker Man. The original Wicker Man.
Hey, there you go. Good one. Good one.
There is, but I can't think of it right now because I want to hear Big Ben's rack.
All right.
For my Hecko-bendation today, I'd like to draw your attention to a horror film made 100 years ago. The 1926 Japanese silent film, A Page of Madness.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, there's a guy. I think most people I think most folks here on this program will tell you that if you haven't watched at least a few silent films, you really are missing out, as the new art film really did hit the ground running much more successfully than most realize. And in the case of this one, it managed to do so with one of those title cards, or without those title cards, because everyone else thought it was needed at the time. But to be fair, it also did employ the use of a narrator, the script to which has been lost to time, so we can never get a complete view of this film. What's missing, though, could arguably add to the experience, as the plot, focusing on a woman in a mental asylum losing her grip on reality, was, from its very inception, meant to be up to interpretation. Influenced by the German silent films and No Theater, she dances and emotes in her cell. As an observer, we come to learn as her husband takes a job as a janitor in the asylum to be close to her. After his long absence kind of caused that madness. Soon, that madness expands from her cell into his world. From there, I think you're kind of meant to draw your own conclusions and interpretations as to what each intersplice of imagery is meant to mean. Watch this film the right way if you can, with the lights off, without ads interrupting the narrative, and the monochrome ambiance, and I think you too might find yourself in a world of madness you didn't anticipate. Do you like it, Graham?
Oh yeah, I fucking love it. Are you kidding me? I own it on Blu-ray. Thank you very much.
I'm getting it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's a fantastic movie. It's like genuinely unsettling.
Yeah, Ben, if you watch it with the original 1926 ads, though, it's pretty good.
Cocaine. All right.
Maybe Japanese ads. Yeah,
it's all cigarettes.
Yeah.
And I figured Graham liked it. I'm sure he wasn't like, fuck yeah, that movie sucks. That made me laugh. Sorry.
Don't worry, we'll cut that.
All right, I died. Okay. Now, I can't make any tenuous connections between my recommendation this week and our movie, which is a big letdown considering this is the big season premiere, Schlenzo.
Oh,
wait. Season 7? Sydney Sweeney. That's tenuous enough for me. My recommendation this week is 2025's The Housemaid, starring beloved starlet Sydney Sweeney. Not exactly sure what a starlet is, but if there ever was one, it's Sydney Sweeney. When young Millie Miller, tenuous? All right.
Very.
When young Millie is hired on as a live-in maid, she has no idea she's moving into a home full of secrets and betrayals. In rare fashion, I think the advertisements and trailers actually did a good job setting up this erotic thriller. Grandma. Without giving too much away. Sweeney plays the maid in what can only be described as typical Hollywood wish fulfillment casting, and her adversarial counterpart in the household is apple of Big Ben's eye, Amanda Seyfried.
Oh, yeah.
There's There's some other people in this movie too, but I didn't look up who they were because so far this recommendation passes the Bechdel test. Directed by Paul Feig. Fuck! God, no. Although Sweeney may be the bigger Hollywood darling at the time of release in this film, I think Seyfried manages to come off as the stronger of the two, and not just in her performance. Ultimately, though, this is a film that is very much of its era, you know, so some of the surprises and twists may feel very telegraphed and transparent to certain viewers. That said, you paid your nickel to bask in the glory of the beautiful people for 2 measly hours, and on that note, it certainly delivers. A surprise cameo from Liam Neeson was nowhere to be seen, but would have certainly helped spice things up. Neeson or no, if you want to check out The Housemaid, hey now, I guess it's currently streaming on Stars. Remember Stars? It's
that's
back
still a thing.
in stream
Good for
form.
On that fake Prime.
With Sydney Sweeney.
With Sydney Sweeney.
Not a bad way to come back.
I don't know what they're going to do for the sequel. I don't like. It seems like there's nothing you can do.
A sequel?
Yeah,
Housemaids
right now.
International.
No, it's called The Housemaid's Secret, I believe.
Yeah, it's like you could do a prequel. I could see a prequel.
But I've only seen the first half of the movie, so I shouldn't speak to it.
Charlie's
All sounds
Angels.
so titillating.
You
though.
left midway through the movie? Was that
I was, because
of-
people were talking in the theater.
I remember that, and you still haven't been able to go back. That is
I like how you say "of the era" too, Maynard. But
This era.
someone could be listening to this 10 years from now.
Of
so
the
I
era
like that
last
Time
week.
capsule.
They need to
Yeah.
appreciate that it's the era that I'm talking about while I'm speaking. They need to know when the thing is released.
You said 2025.
But anyway, I mentioned this was season premiere, and Graham, you were a guest on our very second episode, and here you are on our season premiere.
Here
season
I
7.
am, all these years later.
And I didn't have to fight you this time. It was
Older,
great.
wiser,
Love it.
maybe wiser. We're not sure. But we hope to you'll come back too. And with that, we are all out of show. But we want to thank our guest Graham Skipper for joining us. Thank you so much, Graham.
Thank you for having me back. It's always genuinely a pleasure to be here. Love talking movies with you guys, even when I lose.
But we all learned something, I think. And I'm glad you
Did
finally
we?
gave us a reason to watch this movie.
Good.
But we're gonna have you back, absolutely. I heard you're gonna do
Trap.
The Happening.
Hey,
I'll do
all
it.
right.
Don't
I
tempt
like
me with
it.
a good time.
And we hope everyone else will join us then as well, as the reels of justice keep turning.
Count it.
Trucks.
Please follow us on Twitter at Reels of Justice, Instagram Reels of Justice, and Facebook.com/Reels of Justice.